Doc!
Marty, have you found my younger self yet?
Well, I met your younger self,
Great.
and I gotta say, you're kind of uptight.
What?
You won't even talk to me.
I find that hard to believe. Tell me what happened.
I tried asking him about your rocket drill, but he says he's not a scientist.
What? What? Father.
What's he got to do with this?
In 1931, I was still deathly afraid of my father discovering the truth about my scientific predilections, so I carefully kept them under wraps, practicing science at odd hours, away from his prying eyes.
That sucks.
It sucked a lot. Fortunately, I eventually stood up to him, but right now, my younger self probably thinks you've been sent by my father to check up on me.
What do I do to convince Teen Doc that I'm not a spy?
I'm not sure.
Why does your younger self mutter all the time?
Muttering? Why would I be muttering? I never mutter unless... The Hill Valley Expo!
The expo?
Yes, the Expo! How could I have forgotten? In a few months, the younger me will put on a demonstration at the Hill Valley Exposition, my first public foray into the world of science. Everyone in town will be there, including a number of noted inventors who shaped my career.
So, it was a big success?
No, it was a miserable failure, which marked my transition from an amateur garage scientist into a professional seeker of truth.
What does this expo have to do with you muttering all the time?
When I was younger, I used to relieve stress by working on complex mathematical conundrums. No doubt my younger self is working on some impossible problem in an attempt to work off cerebral steam in the weeks before the exposition. What was I muttering about?
I don't know, h to the something with an inverse of something else. I'm not so good at equations.
That's too bad. I bet if we could solve my younger self's problem, he'd be more inclined to listen to you.
I still can't figure out what your younger self is muttering about.
Blast! If only I could hear him myself.
You know, your younger self seems really dedicated to the law.
It's a facade, I assure you. I had to keep up appearances to appease my father.
Let's talk about your younger self's problems later.
Okay, but don't forget we're on a bit of a deadline here.
Psst, Doc!
Marty! How goes the escape plan?
Where have you been all this time? I missed you.
I've missed you too, Marty. But I thought it was important to let you live your own life for a while, free from the insanity of time travel.
I gotta admit, it was nice to not have my family history blowing up in my face for a few months.
Besides, I've been busy raising my own unpredictable teenagers.
So how are Clara and the kids?
They're fine. Right now we're trying to decide where to send Jules and Vern to college. Clara prefers the 2020s, but I'm partial to the 1960s. We're planning on visiting you and Jennifer in 2011 soon.
Me and Jennifer? In 2011?
Oh, forget I said anything.
Where'd the DeLorean come from? The last time I saw it had been smashed to pieces by a train.
It's a fantastic story. Do you remember when the DeLorean got struck by lightning in 1955?
Yeah?
Unbeknownst to either of us, the lightning produced a temporal duplicate of the Time Machine, one that was tossed 70 years into the future.
What?
I found out about it during a trip to 2025 and recovered it just in time to stop Griff Tannen from vandalizing the time stream.
Heavy. So that DeLorean...
is for all intents and purposes the exact same machine as the original. Plus or minus little bells and whistles I've added over the years, of course.
So, what were you doing in 1931 anyway?
Oh, nothing terribly exciting. Indulging in a little personal nostalgia, picking up a few rare out-of-print books to surprise Clara on her birthday, solving a historical mystery or two. The usual.
The usual? You lead a pretty unusual life, Doc.
It's an unusual universe, Marty.
I hate to tell you, Doc, but your last time departed display is on the fritz.
It is? So how did you find me?
I found one of Edna Strickland's shoes in the DeLorean.
How did one of her shoes get in the DeLorean?
Einstein took it from her.
He did? How strange. Ida almost never attacks people. Not without a good reason, anyway.
How'd you wind up in jail in 1931 anyway?
During my trip to the past, I decided to look into one of Hill Valley's unsolved mysteries.
The fire at the speakeasy.
Exactly. I thought I was safely hidden across the street. But when the fire started, there was a tremendous explosion, and I was knocked unconscious by a stray brick. When I woke up, I was here in jail, charged with arson.
That's horrible.
I know. Worse yet, I still don't know who started the fire.
Guess who I bumped into at the soup kitchen? My grandfather.
No!
Don't worry, I didn't talk to him or change his future or anything.
Good.
I wish I could, though. This era's tannin is treating him like dirt.
Don't worry. If history plays out as it's supposed to, he'll soon be out from under Kit Tannen's thumb and free to live out his life as a humble accountant with your grandma. What was her name again?
Sylvia.
Right, Sylvia.
What's the story with this kid Tannen jerk anyway?
Biff's father? By this time next year, he'll be pulling down a life sentence in San Quentin. There was even a song about it.
Wait, if Biff will be born in 1938 and Kid will be in prison...
As I recall, he escaped from prison in 1937 for about 3 hours.
That's a busy 3 hours.
No kidding.
What do you know about Edna Strickland?
Edna? We never really socialized when I was younger. She was a few years older than me, and we traveled in different socioeconomic circles. Why do you ask?
She thinks you're a hero for burning down that speakeasy. She's doing a story on you.
A story? Oh, yes, now I remember. Ask Edna, the etiquette column that doubled as a pro-temperance soapbox. She believed that the consumption of alcohol would inevitably lead to a complete societal breakdown.
Sounds like a fun gal.
You should have seen her when the hippies started showing up in the 60s. She just about lost her mind.
That would explain a lot. I know this really isn't the right time or place, but I found your notebook.
Ah, so that's where I left it. Why'd you bring it here?
Because the bank's selling off all your stuff.
They can't do that.
That's what I keep trying to tell them.
Well, you hold on to it for safekeeping. We'll deal with my financial situation in 1986 after we save me from a grisly death in 1931.
Hang in there, Doc.
Not the best choice of words, Marty.
Will you just give me a chance?
Harassment's a federal crime, Mr. Corleone. Don't say it. No. Small, no. Now if H stands for one...
Will you just give me a chance?
Harassment's a federal crime, Mr. Corleone. Don't say it. What am I missing here? Don't think, Emmett, think. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A. Coefficient of friction remains constant and the gravitational constant is variable. Wait, is that even... Don't think, Emmett, think. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A. Derivative of the speed relative to the speed of light.
Doc! So, Doc, does this ring a bell?
Don't think, Emmett, think. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A.
Good grief! Is that me? I sound so...
Young?
I was gonna say intense. I forgot how wound up I used to get.
Yeah, but what are you muttering about?
Oh, that's easy. It's Ivanov's conundrum. Just tell my younger self that H equals a Hamiltonian operator.
Won't giving him the answer mess up the time stream?
Only if it turns out that reality is actually nothing more than a holographic illusion created by the interplay of subatomic particles on a vast two-dimensional membrane.
So,
It'll be fine.
hang in there, Doc.
Or do we take H's stand for permitting a line operator? But
Will you just give me a chance?
harassment's a federal crime, Mr. Corleone.
Maybe H equals the Hamiltonian operator.
What did you just say?
I said maybe H equals the...
Hamiltonian operator.
Yeah!
Great Scott! If H is a Hamiltonian, then H to the A multiplied by the inverse of H can only be the same as the expectation value for A. That's it! That's the solution to Ivanov's conundrum, the problem I've been wrestling with in my head all week!
I'm sure you would have figured it out by yourself in a day or two. The way you figured out how to build that rocket-powered drill.
Where did you learn so much about science?
Well, it's like this.
You know about my rocket power drill? Then there can only be one explanation.
What?
You're from the patent office! I confess I didn't quite know what to expect when I sent the paperwork, but I never expected this. Welcome! I'm at your service. What can I do for you?
Can I see your rocket-powered drill?
Of course, of course. Naturally, it's just a scale model, but it's nearly operational. I can show it to you, say, first thing in the morning?
Nah, that's no good. I need to see a full-size model. That's fully operational. Tonight. Otherwise, we'll have to award the patent to a competing inventor, Dr. McCoy.
It can't be done! I mean, it might be possible to construct a full-size working model in that time frame, but I haven't got the main ingredient for the fuel.
I'll get it for you. What is it?
190 proof grain alcohol. And you know how difficult it is to get a hold of alcohol these days.
Especially now that someone's blown up the speakeasy.
And besides, there's no way I can get off work until I've delivered the subpoena. It's part of the investigation into the business affairs of Kid Tannen. Is it vitally important you see that rocket-powered drill today?
Yes. Is it vitally important you deliver that subpoena today?
Yes!
Listen, I'll help you deliver it, and I'll see to it you get the alcohol you need. It'll help you get that drill finished by tonight. Deal?
Deal. Here's the subpoena.
I've got to subpoena my grandpa?
It's Kid Tannen.
Hey, I just saw him at the soup kitchen, yelling at Arthur McFly.
I'm not surprised. Arthur does the books for his business.
What kind of business?
That's what the DA is trying to find out.
Let's go talk to him.
No!
Why not? Kid Tannen can tell us where Arthur's hiding.
Yeah, well, he can also have us fitted for a Chicago overcoat.
I need to get this subpoena into Arthur McFly's hands, so young Doc will have the time to help me bust old Doc out of jail. Hey, Miss Strickland.
Oh, hello, Mr. Corleone. Try not to draw any undue attention my way. I'm on the trail of a hot new scoop, as we in the newspaper business say.
What's the scoop?
I've heard rumors that something shady is going on at the Sisters of Mercy soup kitchen. It's under new management, you know. And oh, we mustn't jump to any conclusions, not till the facts are in. I hope to heaven it is just a rumor. That soup kitchen is the front line in the good fight. If it goes bad, what will happen to the Stay Sober Society? Not to mention all the charitable institutions that depend on me for soup deliveries.
You make hot soup deliveries?
It's one of my many small contributions to the good cause. Healthy bodies, healthy souls, or so one hopes. I pick up barrels of hot soup at the kitchen, and I deliver them hither and thither. Hill Valley Orphanage, the St. Francis Xavier Ranch for Unwanted Children, Foggy Mountain Home for the Incurably Insane, Shady Acres Rest Home. Oh, I can barely keep track of them all. It's a very big job.
Hey, I can help you deliver soup. I donate a lot of time to charities.
Oh, which ones?
The, Mario Brothers.
Ah, yes. The Italians do so many good works.
If you'll just fix it so I can pick up the barrels of soup.
Now hold your horses, let's not get overeager. I drive the soup cycle in this town, and I'm not about to turn it over to an upstart. But if you're well connected with the local charitable institutions,
Yeah?
you can let me know when they're running low on soup.
Did you finish the story you interviewed me for? About Carl Sagan?
Yes, but those pig-headed editors at the paper rejected it. They said my story was slanted, and that I was glorifying a suspected arsonist. As if their stories aren't always glorifying the criminal vermin that run this town. This whole thing makes me so mad I could spit. Though of course I never would. There's an ordinance against it, and it's so untidy.
What's the Stay Sober Society?
You haven't heard of the SSS? They do the most marvelous work, taking hopeless drunken bums and turning them into former hopeless drunken bums. I'm one of the founding members. And not to say that I was ever, well, you know. Anyway, we've always met in the cellar of the Sisters of Mercy soup kitchen, but for some reason the new managers don't want us down there, so we're stuck. We've got nowhere to meet.
I know a place where the Stay Sober Society can meet.
Oh? Where?
The Brown residence.
You mean Judge Brown's place?
Yeah, I happen to be good friends with his son Emmett, and he's told me the judge would love to lend his place out for, good causes like yours.
Really? Why, that's the most generous, public-spirited offer I've received in a month of Sundays. Please tell your friend Emmett we accept. The meeting isn't due to start for a little while, so that'll give our people some time to set up.
As a matter of fact, I do know a local charity that's running low on soup.
Oh? Who?
The Stay Sober Society.
Bless you for thinking of them. But that meeting isn't scheduled to start for a little while, and we wouldn't want them eating cold soup.
I'm sorry about the way Einstein lit into you back there. I don't know what got into him.
Well, I hope you've learned to keep him under control.
Yeah, I found someone to keep him distracted.
Very good. Now let's see if you know your multiplication tables.
I got a book.
Oh? Where?
This subpoena's for Arthur McFly?
Have you seen him?
We're a few seconds in the soup kitchen, but I think he's gone back into hiding.
Brilliant deduction, Einstein.
What do you know about Arthur McFly?
Certified accountant. Graduated Hill Valley 5 classes ahead of me. Seems like a nice fellow, actually.
How did he get mixed up with a guy like Kid Tannen?
Who knows? Sometimes people find themselves stuck in situations they can't get out of.
How about Kid Tannen? What do we know about him?
He's loud, he's obnoxious, he's not very bright, and he doesn't like anybody getting in his way.
Yep, that's a Tannen, all right. This might be a stupid question, but couldn't you have designed your rocket-powered drill to run on fuel that, isn't illegal?
Illegal? What does law have to do with science? Science has its own laws. You of all people should know that.
But couldn't you tweak your engine design a little so it runs on something else?
Like what?
I don't know, gas maybe?
Gasoline? Yesterday's news. You'll see. By 1940, automobiles will all run on pure alcohol.
Some of us down at the patent office are wondering, what made you think of a rocket-powered drill?
Ah, that'd be Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. It was a revelation.
Yeah, that's kind of what we figured. Have you read The Time Machine?
H.G. Wells? Not yet, but it's on my list.
We'll get that subpoena delivered. My name isn't...
Michael Corleone!
Yeah.
the hell, Matches? You got kiwi all over my socks!
Sorry, boss.
Get out of here. How about you?
Huh?
I'm sitting at a shoe shine booth. You walk up. Either you're here to shine my shoes, or you got a death wish. Which is it?
Hey, I represent United Charities of Hill Valley. Can you authorize me to pick up soup from your establishment and deliver it to some very deserving souls?
Nah, that Strickland dame's got the charity racket pretty much locked up. No point in giving her competition.
How come you won't let the Stay Sober Society hold their meeting in the cellar of your soup kitchen?
We got other plans for that cellar, and it don't necessarily involve staying sober.
Edna Strickland thinks your soup kitchen might not be on the up and up.
That dame gets on my nerves. Got a great pair of gams, though.
I'm looking for a guy named Arthur McFly. He's my, sort of a relative.
Well, he's my employee. He's very busy today.
Since you're Arthur's boss, you know where he is, right?
He's at the, office.
Where's the office?
I forget.
So when do you think Arthur will be leaving the office?
When I tell him he can leave the office. Hey, you missed a spot.
Isn't that Arthur McFly's hat you're holding?
It was McFly's hat. Now, it's my peanut bowl.
Could I buy Arthur's hat off you?
Could you keep your mind on your work, huh? Shoeshine boy? I'm hanging on to my peanut bowl.
Can I have some peanuts?
Why not? I'm a magnanimous kind of guy. Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Hey, kid!
Yeah?
What the hell is that?
Hey!
What'd you do?
Give me that hat, you lousy crook!
Emmett! Emmett!
Nobody makes a monkey out of Kid Tannen! Ow! Fix me up!
Where'd you learn how to move like that?
Sandlot football. They used to call me the Streak.
Get out!
My grandpa may be a little wimpy, but he's got great taste in hats.
Hey, Q-Ball.
What?
The truck just arrived with a fresh shipment of, soup.
Soup?
Well, this is the regular soup, and this is the special soup.
Right. Special.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm spicing up the soup. It's my secret recipe.
Listen, this ain't the Savoy, and we ain't here to feed these bozos no fancy soup. The boss has got a business to rebuild, so knock off the goofing and mind your post.
All right. Just try the soup. Well?
I can see why you want to keep this a secret.
Excuse me.
You talking to me?
So this place used to be a soup kitchen.
What do you mean used to be? Despite recent changes in ownership, this joint is still available for the purposes of distributing food to the needy and the not so well-to-do, and no other purposes whatsoever.
Right. What's a tough guy like Kid Tannen doing running a soup kitchen?
Mr. Tannen purchased the soup kitchen from the Sisters of Mercy in an effort to repair his reputation as a respectable community figure after his fine name was besmirched by the malignant and malicious the actions of the misguided vandals that done burned down his place of business.
His speakeasy.
I cannot confirm nor deny any claims of so-called illegal bootlegging at the Just eat your damn soup, pipsqueak.
Why's the soup in a barrel?
'Cause it's hard to ladle off the floor.
Could I have a bowl of soup?
You're a soup kitchen. What do you think?
What kind of soup is this? It tastes like...
Scroll ribolita?
I was gonna say week-old cabbage.
Everyone's a critic. Look, all I got to work with is this 2-bit soup in a barrel and spice rack that hadn't been restocked since the Coolidge administration. What do you think I should do to perk this slop up?
Let's see. Have you tried... paprika?
Paprika?
I just think it could use a little color.
Color?
Huddle up, Emmett.
Huddle?
Just listen up for a second. Any ideas about how to get the hooch?
Hooch?
The alcohol, Emmett.
One might come to the conclusion that the hooch is being hidden in some of those barrels.
You're probably right, but which ones?
Now, if I could get my hands on some of those barrels, I could weigh them and compare their specific gravity.
Specific gravity? Come on, Emmett. Kids' goons aren't gonna let us do an experiment on their barrels.
Oh, I suppose you're right. We'll just have to ask the guy behind the counter.
What? Ask him if any of his barrels are filled with illegal moonshine? Get real here.
Well, I imagined a modicum of subtlety would be used.
Subtlety. Right. We'll score that hooch somehow.
I'll keep cogitating.
What is it, kid?
Okay. I've got some more ideas about your soup.
Do tell.
Let's see. Have you tried... giving the soup a little heat, maybe?
Why, is it getting cold?
No, I mean, like chili powder. Muy caliente.
Oh, bit of a tough guy, huh? Actually, I like it spicy too, but it's gotta be edible for the common folks.
Come on, a little dash isn't gonna kill anyone.
Ah, heck. You got moxie, kid. Let's spice it up a bit, shall we? The kitchen's for management only, rummy.
Whoa!